We've mentioned quite a few different tools to use for finding great flight deals on this channel. But what are the pros and cons of each one? And which tool is the best one for the trip that you are planning? Well, that's what we're covering in today's video. We will be testing out some different tools against some award availability that we recently found for our one-on-one clients. These include a Cathay Pacific first class flight with a sticker price of more than $20,000 and saver space on business class flights from San Francisco to Manila. And as a reminder, if you're just listening to the audio version of this, check out the Roame.travel YouTube channel for the full video walkthrough. Okay, let's jump right in. So the first search engine we're going to check out is PointsYeah. I like that they have a free version. If you want to compare the free versus the premium plan, the free version is really fast, as we'll see. It does unlimited real-time one-way searches in about 10 seconds, and you can do a 4-day fuzzy search. You can also have up to 4 active alerts at a time. I think for most people, that's a really good place to start, and you don't need to be having 50 different award alerts. If you do want the premium version, I don't love that they don't have a monthly plan. They just have a yearly option for $90. There's not some kind of free trial or something where we can see how it compares to the free version. I would start with the free version, do the 4-day fuzzy search, because with the premium version, you can get 8 days of fuzzy search, but it's not like you can see the whole calendar at a time. But for our purposes, I think the free version is going to work out just fine. I also like that it saves all of my recent searches down here. So for example, with Cathay Pacific, let's see if it can find this Hong Kong to New York leg for about 160,000 points in Cathay Pacific first class on June 17th. So here I clicked Hong Kong to JFK on the 15th through the 18th for one passenger in first class. This is loading in real time. You can see it is pretty fast. 1.5 million points is going to be pretty steep. Okay, so the cheapest version that it found was Air India and Vistara business and first class from Hong Kong through Delhi into JFK. That's 109,000 points, which is very respectable, and it does include the 20% transfer bonus from Chase over to Air Canada. At the time I'm recording this, this is still active. By the time you view this, this is going to be expired, but hopefully there are other transfer bonuses in place, and I like that PointsYeah alerts you to these. It also has these different helpful tips, like for one-way awards with stopovers, you can book those for an extra 5,000 miles, but then it tells you would need to visit Air Canada directly. Outside of this Air India and Vistara option, the next cheapest one, because this is sorted from points low to high, is going to be this Etihad option, where it says Etihad and Cathay Pacific, bookable through Etihad's program. But it's 1.5 million points, which is way too expensive. And so it looks like out of the 25 or so programs that they are searching, Cathay Pacific is not one of those because it didn't catch this first class availability. Now let's see if it can find the Singapore one. From San Francisco through Singapore into Manila, I was able to find this for 107,000 miles directly on Singapore's website. I was not able to find this through partner programs like Air Canada or United. So on PointsYeah, let's search San Francisco to Manila from the 12th through the 15th, since this was on the 13th, and I also found availability on the 12th and 14th. And so here it says the cheapest option is with Japan Airlines from San Francisco through Japan into Manila, but it does let you know that it's only 29% in business class, and the long flight over the Pacific would be in economy. I like that they make that really bold because I feel like that just gets a lot of people with the mixed business class. So they also have this nice filter to say premium cabin percentage. I only want stuff that's over 80% in business class. They have all these helpful hints like what the airline change or cancellation policy is. This one is bookable with Air France KLM Flying Blue for 108,000 points, and it would be routing through Taipei instead of Singapore. Only 1,000 points more, but it looks like they did not have that Singapore option. Most of these are going to be with China Airlines, and then they start going up to 120,000 points or more. Here's one with Korean Air from San Francisco through Korea into Manila for 120,000 Alaska miles. And if you don't have Alaska miles, they also have these different filters where you can say which airline programs or which bank programs you want to work with. So if you say only have Amex and Chase, you can apply those filters and it'll show you what you need to do from there. So overall, very solid free search engine. It wasn't able to find
these two award searches that I was able to find by hand, but they had some pretty comparable search results. And I do like that they have the fuzzy search feature as well, where you can do plus or minus a couple days, so you're searching in a range of dates for about 4 days at a time. Also bonus, I like that their button says, yeah, I think that's kind of cute. It's a small interface thing. One thing that I don't like about their interface is when you are searching for different flight results, I don't know why they have these double arrows where you can jump a year at a time. Award availability is only usually available for up to 11 months ahead of schedule. So most of the time I just accidentally end up clicking this button and then have to move over here and double back. Again, small interface thing that I don't love, but otherwise solid free product that you can use, and it's free if you want to get started with searching for flights like this.
If you love free resources that let you maximize points, we made you something. Check out geobreezetravel.com/quiz for a free short quiz that will point you to the best resources depending on whether you're trying to earn more points, redeem points, or something else. And by taking the free quiz, you'll also get access to the free Points 101 course, which is a fantastic resource for anyone getting started with points and miles. One of the fan favorite tools for finding award flights is PointsYeah, which is one of my go-to tools for when clients and Patreon members have award search requests for a specific date and route. Here's how to use PointsYeah and how it stacks up to the award search results we found by hand.
Okay, the next tool that we are going to check out is PointsYeah. Full disclosure, they have been a sponsor of my podcast and they do gift me my premium access that I'll be able to walk through with you today. For pricing with PointsYeah, I do like that for the self-serve feature, they do have a free trial. You can do your first 3 searches free. And after that, if you just want to spend a day looking through different flight deals, then the starter pass is only $5 per day, which for most people should be enough to get your trip planned. If you find that you are spending 5 days or so trying to search through all of the different combinations of flights, maybe don't do that. There should probably be some efficiencies that can be built in that way. I like that the $5 also kind of forces you to do a little bit of pre-work and then just do your searches from there. They don't have monthly plans. If you wanted to have a standard plan, it is $129 a year. And for the premium plan, it's $260 a year. And so what these would include is unlimited searches for the entire year. You can also sync your awards account balances with Award Wallet, so it knows exactly what kinds of points you have. So if you only have Amex and Capital One points, it's not going to show you Chase and City results, stuff like that if you don't want to. And then for the premium plan, that would be if you want to take part in their consulting as well, where if you just want somebody to book it for you, one trip at a time, they have full trip booking services for about $200 per passenger and going up from there. So you can check out the PointsYeah.com, our services and pricing for more information here, but let's check out how the self-service tool is working. Okay, so let's see if it can find this Hong Kong to JFK first class route for 160,000 points through Cathay Pacific. So I've loaded in one way, one passenger, business and first class, Hong Kong to JFK on the 17th. You can only search one day at a time with their standard search feature. There's not like a 4-day fuzzy search or anything like that. But since we know the exact day that we are searching for, we are able to type that in. And PointsYeah is my go-to tool if you have a specific date that you need to travel on and you don't have any flexibility. So they search through 33 different programs. And one of the downsides of PointsYeah is it's a little bit slower than some of the other search engines. They have definitely gotten a lot faster in the last few months, and I think they'll continue to improve on this, but it does take a little bit of time to run each search. Okay, so they tend to default sort by quickest flights. I like to sort from points low to points high, and the cheapest business class flight they found was through Ethiopian Airlines from Hong Kong to Addis Ababa into JFK. And this is only 60,000 points, which is pretty solid, and you can actually view booking options through here, where it'll show you where to transfer your points. And so for this one, it would say move Chase points into Airplan because there is a transfer bonus going on. Other options, there's this one with Air India business class through Life Miles. Taxes are really cheap here, it's only $13. And then from there, it jumps up to 180,000 points with Turkish Airlines. So it looks like they were not able to find this Cathay Pacific result, which kind of surprises me because they have been able to find Cathay Pacific results for me in the past, but it looks like this one just kind of slipped through their filters today. Let's see if we can find this San Francisco to Manila availability with PointsYeah. So if we type in San Francisco to Manila, this one's going to be in November 13, and then we can go ahead and click search. All right, so from San Francisco over to Manila on November 13, it looks like it was able to find that same China Airlines business class flight that we saw on PointsYeah, where you are going from San Francisco through Taipei into Manila for 108,000 points per person each way. And then after that, the cheapest one that they're finding is Emirates, from San Francisco over to Dubai, over to Manila. And that is 167,000 points. You also have United for 170,000, Turkish for 180,000. So it looks like this one wasn't able to find the Singapore Airlines flight either, but it was able to find this cheap option with Flying Blue, which is pretty comparable to what I found on Singapore. So overall, pros and cons of PointsYeah. I like that it has a free trial. I like that it has a $5 starter pass, and they are pretty comprehensive with their searching. They have a lot of great filters with the airlines and stops, times and programs that you can filter to. And I like that it's just generally very intuitive to use their interface. You can connect it with a word wallet if you want, so that it knows exactly what filters to automatically populate for you. Keep in mind, you can also always access PointsYeah for free at any time through the free Built app. It only works with Built partners, but Built is partners with most of the airlines that I usually check anyways, with Air Canada, Air France, Virgin Atlantic, United, American Airlines, so you're pretty well covered there. One other thing that I like about PointsYeah, they recently added this Explore feature. You can say start exploring. And let's say that you wanted to go from Chicago to anywhere, and you're available for the entire month of June. And you just want to say, what are the good dates in business class? They have that functionality now, which makes it really easy to find some deals. So let's go ahead and click on Explore. And this will populate with results that other people have been able to find through their searches. So it's going to work a lot better if you are in a major city where a lot of people are searching from that city. But you can also filter it down to beach destinations, food and wine, wellness, culture, all of those. And so if you wanted to fly business class from Chicago to Alabama, you can do that starting at 18.4 thousand points. Or if you wanted to go somewhere international, there's Canada, but there's also Croatia for only 40,000 points. So this one would be through Lufthansa, and then you can just search on live availability to see if that is still active. And it'll pre-populate the departure date for you for where they were able to find this before. And it looks like this one is still available. So Chicago over to Croatia on June 25th, they were able to find it through Asiana for 40,000 points, plus $750 in taxes and fees. Or if you would rather pay more points and fewer taxes, they have this available as well with Life Miles, where it's 61,000 points and $13 in taxes and fees. There are 2 stops, which is slightly annoying, but not too bad. And I do like that they flag that it's mixed class. So this one's 80% premium, this one's 90% premium. So it just means one of these short intra-Europe flights is going to be an economy, which is fine because intra-Europe business class kind of feels like economy anyway. So that's another fun feature of PointsYeah is their Explore feature, so that if you like, I'm good to go anywhere, what are the best flight deals, you can do that from your home airport in the month of your choice.
Are you enjoying these types of videos? If yes, please let me know. Click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for even more points and miles tips every week. If you have flexibility in your travel dates, using a tool that has a large fuzzy search feature when you can search multiple days at a time can save you a ton of time when it comes to searching. And that's something that this next tool does pretty well.
With this Cathay Pacific deal, there are multiple dates available on the 17th, 18th, and 20th. Let's check out Roame's Skyview and say if we wanted to check for the entire month of June, is there anything in business or first class that might come in handy where we are not able to find it on our own. So we are searching from Hong Kong over to JFK. So this is taking us to some different dates like June 26th, June 21st, June 25th, but all of these are still pretty expensive at 100,000 points or 234,000. It doesn't have anything similar to this Cathay Pacific search for 160,000 in first class. Now let's check it against this Singapore Airlines option where I was able to find San Francisco through Singapore into Manila on the 13th or the 12th or the 14th, and there is some saver space for 107,000 points per person each way in Singapore. So if we were wanting to search one way, business or first class, one passenger from SFO over to Manila on the 13th of November, it looks like this is stalling out at about 12 programs searched, but it is finding this flight from SFO to Manila on American Airlines for 70,000 points. Once again, this isn't in bold, so it can be a little bit hard to miss, but this is only 34% premium. So if I wanted something that's at least 80%, it recommends this China Airlines flight from San Francisco through Taipei over into Manila. This is bookable using Qantas or with Alaska for 120,000 points. So I was not able to find something comparable to this Singapore Airlines flight. Let's try Skyview and see what it recommends if we select the entire month of November. From SFO. And if we just wanted to do all of Southeast Asia or even all of Asia, and we want this to be at least 80% premium, let's go ahead and click search and see what happens there. So this counts Turkey as part of Asia, and I'm not able to filter down to just East Asia, so I would need to type in some different airport codes. Let's just run this with Manila and see what it finds. Looks like for this one you can't say Manila, Taipei, Singapore, Japan. You would need to search one at a time. So here it's recommending Asiana Airlines for 110,000 miles via United Plus if you have flexibility to do this on the 17th instead. 110,000 is not too much more expensive than 107,000, so that is a solid option if you have date flexibility. Otherwise, we are back to the Qantas option for 119,000 points or Alaska for 120,000 points. So as far as pros and cons, I like that they have this free version that you can test out first. The monthly version is pretty affordable at $9. They're pretty fast for the first half of the search results. It always seems to stall out a little bit at like the 12th or 17th airline that they're checking or something. I don't know if it's one of the airlines in the background is just having trouble populating search results. I do like the Skyview where you can search a month at a time or so, and then you can search for an entire continent at a time. I do wish I could just search for selected airports instead of the entirety of Asia. Just say, I'm okay with these 3 airports in Asia. And that would make it easier for North America as well if you're like, well, I can do LA or San Francisco or Seattle, but not the entire US.
Another great feature of Roame.travel is that they send out a free newsletter with different award deals that they find in their data. And if you're like, I am super flexible, I'll go anywhere, just send me the best deals, then newsletter subscriptions are a great option for you. And I have some recommendations for free and paid newsletters coming right up. But before you can take any of those fun points trips, you're going to need some points first. If you're in the market for a new card to earn more points or status, but not sure what card to get, we offer free credit card consultations at geobreezetravel.com/consultations. We'll send you personalized recommendations based on your particular goals, budget, and lifestyle. Or if you already know what card you want to get next, and you would like to support this show when you apply for your next card, we have all of our affiliate links listed on geobreezetravel.com/cards, which you can also find in the description box. Okay, here's how to make the most out of award deal newsletters without getting completely overwhelmed.
One other nice thing about Roame is that even if you just have their free version, they do have a free newsletter that sends out different award alerts from what they're able to find in their data. So for example, if you wanted to fly first class on Emirates, ANA, Japan Airlines, and American Airlines with Etihad, they will send out this email where you can just search through their different award alerts that they found. So for example, this one is Tokyo to Honolulu, ANA first class, 93,500 points. So if you just click directly in the email, it should pre-populate in Roame from Tokyo to Honolulu. And this one still has ANA first class at the time that I clicked on that. Transfer to United for 93.5 thousand points. So this is a free thing that they send out to where you have to be pretty available on specific dates, but if you want to try any of these out, then that works as well. And then it's very, very easy to use. So you can say things like, oh, I want to go from Chicago to Tokyo in ANA first class for 72.5 thousand points. And then you would just click that and it will auto-populate in the Roame website. And here we do see ANA first class. If you transfer to United, or if you have Velocity Frequent Flyer, which is more of an Australian thing, they have it there as well. I subscribe to a handful of different newsletters, free or paid. If you like just cheap mistake fares and cheap business class flights that are paid with in dollars, because at this point you're like, points are complicated, I'd recommend checking out Ashley Gets Around. I subscribe to her free newsletter where she'll send out deals like business class USA to Europe for about $1,700 round trip, or if you wanted to go USA to Jamaica, West Coast to Japan. This is one with Zip Air, where you could fly West Coast to Japan from LAX, SFO, San Jose, June through October. So this is the format of emails that she sends. She has a free version where you'll get 25% of the deals that the paid version gets, or if you wanted to sign up for the premium deal, then you'll get 100% of the different deals that she sends, and she sends a lot. Another one that I subscribe to is Straight to the Points. He sends out a lot of these different deals as well. If you wanted to go somewhere like Singapore Airline Business Class to the UK, some of these are cash deals and some of them are points deals. Like for example, this Turkish business class starting at 31.5 thousand points for up to 4 seats at a time. And he does give you instructions with, here are the routes that you can fly, here's photo of the plane, here's how much it costs to book with different programs, taxes and fees that you can expect, etc. So this one I do pay for. I think I pay like $100 a year or something like that for Straight to the Points. So he sends out quite a few deals as well. The Points Analyst has a free newsletter where he sends out different deals. Like this one is flying on Fiji Airways for 55,000 points, up to 5 seats available. You can fly from LAX or SFO over to NAN. Best months to fly, and here's the best routes. Here's directions on how to book it, and then the different dates where he was able to find availability. And this one's free if you wanted to sign up for the Points Analyst free newsletter. I subscribe to Thrifty Traveler as well. This one was gifted to me, full disclosure, and they sent out more emails than anyone else. They're actually the reason I have all of these stored in separate folders, is because they are sending out multiples per day. Like on January 12th, they sent me 4 emails. January 11th, they sent me 5, 6, 7, 8. They send a lot of emails. So that's a pro and a con. Pro because you're getting lots of deals. Con because if you're like me, your inbox is already probably a little bit crazy. And so here is a quick tip. If you're getting a lot of these in your inbox, you can checkbox one of them and then click here under Gmail and say filter messages like this. And if you're just like, hey Jared at Thrifty Traveler, I need to dedicate like 1 day a week to looking at all of your emails, not every single day, not multiple times a day. You can create a filter, skip the inbox and archive it, and then apply the label and then move it to newsletters like Thrifty Traveler. So it's not going to be in your inbox, and then you can just check the folder when you're ready to look at different deals, and you can apply that to matching conversations. The downside of that is you are more likely to miss out on a deal if you apply those kinds of filters. The pro is that you will have more sanity and you have like an intentional time per week that you are looking for deals, or an intentional time per day. I think a lot of these, they're always like, jump on it as soon as you find it. You probably have like at least a couple hours most of the time. And so Thrifty Traveler sends out mostly cash deals, some points deals. So we'll link to all of those different newsletters for you in the description box. But if you are very open to flying wherever there's a deal and doing positioning flights, newsletters are great. If you prefer to have a set destination or route in mind, then I would use something like one of these different search tools so that you can type in your exact origin and destination and when you are looking to take the trip.
Our last walkthrough covers my favorite tool and how I use it to find award flight deals for dozens of client and Patreon requests every week. Speaking of, if you're interested in leveling up your points and miles game and getting more free trips and upgrades, we have a couple of options for you. The first one is the GeoBreezeTravel Patreon, which you can join starting at $5 through patreon.com/GeoBreezeTravel. Each month, we prepare personalized step-by-step tutorials for the routes that our members request. We also provide open forum group coaching where you can ask any questions that you have about points, miles, and credit cards in general. And we talk through some of the tricks that I don't really discuss on social media. And if you're looking to get even more free travel with points and you're a business owner or individual who spends more than $100,000 per year on expenses, check out our one-on-one points portfolio management service. We typically save our clients somewhere between $30,000 and $60,000 in travel in the first 6 to 12 months of working with our team. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, book a free intro chat with us at geobreezetravel.com/intro call to learn more. Okay, here's a quick tutorial for the tool that I personally use most often, plus the pros and cons to keep in mind.
So as you've probably guessed, the tool that I use most for finding flight deals for myself and my clients is seats.aero. It makes it really easy to find all the different possibilities so that I can make different recommendations. So for example, if I'm searching for Hong Kong or Asia over to the East Coast to see if we can find that Cathay Pacific deal, we can search for entire months at a time. Let's say that we wanted to do this in June. I'll just select mid-June and say plus or minus 14 days so that it'll capture the whole month. You can capture 2 whole months if you wanted to with plus or minus 28 days. They let you filter on fees, minimum available seats, then go ahead and click search. So I already knew that seats.aero wasn't going to find Cathay Pacific because one of the cons is they only work with these different airlines. But they do have this option from Singapore to JFK for 87.5 thousand points. If we wanted to find something specifically from Hong Kong to JFK, this is actually saying there's nothing good in business class for the entire month of June, which is a little bit unfortunate because some of the other tools were able to suggest other things. So this one's like, there's literally nothing from Hong Kong to JFK. Whereas PointsYeah and PointMe were saying, oh, you should route through India or you should route through Dubai or something like that. Seats.aero works best for direct flights, and they don't work with every route because they have a database of different routes that they're searching for based off of what their different users request. So if there is a route you want to request, you can easily do that, or you can piece this out one at a time, or if you're like, okay, I'm willing to go from Hong Kong to Singapore, then Singapore to JFK, you can run 2 searches at once. But that is a kind of a downside with seats.aero is you kind of have to know what routes they already service, which routes they don't service, and there's a lot of positioning flights that are probably involved if you're using this tool. And Cathay Pacific is not one of the airlines that they're searching through, and neither is Singapore. So if we wanted to try to find that Singapore deal from SFO over to Manila on November, click search. And this is going to give us a lot of that direct availability from San Francisco over to Manila, which is more expensive. And most people here would not know to search for Singapore over to just anywhere in Asia first, and then maybe route through Taipei, and then connect to the Philippines. You can do that with Qantas, where this would be on China Airlines. You could do that with Alaska. So with seats.aero, there is that higher learning curve. Once you're on the learning curve and you know how to search for different routes, different positioning flight options, it does make it a lot easier to find all of the availability with selected airlines. But up until that point, I think a lot of people try to jump in too fast with seats.aero and get very confused very fast. So I would instead suggest starting with something like PointsYeah, Roame, PointMe, or something there. It is nice also if you have a whole bunch of points stuck with a particular program, like let's say you only have United miles. And then you're like, okay, I want to go from North America over to Europe, and I'm willing to pay $10 for the pro version so I can see the entire year. We need at least 2 seats. How do I find this? Then you can sort by business class. It'll show you all of the saver space that they find for the different routes that they track. So for example, if you are in Houston and you're like, where can I get to from Houston using my United miles that are stuck in my United account? This will show you, okay, you could go to Frankfurt in January or February, you could go to Amsterdam, London, and if you're like, well, Europe's cold in the summer, it makes it really easy to just say, let's go in June or July. And it's gonna say that there is no United availability from Houston then, but if you wanted to, I guess, transfer over to Panama City or RDU or MSP or YUL, this will show you where exactly you need to position to in order to jump on some good flight deals. So I'm more of a keyboard person than a mouse clicky person. I like that I can do all of these different searches pretty quick just in the search field. Again, this one was made more for people who are a little bit techier rather than for people who need a little bit more of an intuitive interface. But once you've been in the game for a while, and if you are looking for something that is that next level up, then I would suggest checking out seats.aero, because this is the one that I tend to use the most for finding flights for clients, and then I will just supplement it with searching for flights on airlines that I know they don't support, such as Singapore and Cathay Pacific.
I hope you found those tutorials useful. Suggestions for future topics are always welcome. In the meantime, if you enjoyed these tutorials, I think you will enjoy this video next.